to Drop the Leash Podcast. We have a guest with us today. We'll get into that in a minute. First, we're going to thank Canadore because great things happen there. Northscapes Landscaping, the Tresnack family. Fox and the Fiddle Pub, located at 112 Spencer Avenue. Join the men's NFC team after every home game, home of our fifth quarter. Kenny Upole, North Bay, your self-serve auto parts store located at 412 Burgess Road, North Bay. DeMarco Lucenti Insurance Brokers, located at 693 Castles. Call Eric and Krista, your coaches, for home, auto, commercial, and business needs. Also, A&S Towing, located at 1345 Franklin Street, North Bay. Call 705-497-8565 for all your towing needs. Right on, guys. This is our first season, episode 3. We have Coach Clinton here, Coach Marc, and our special guest Ryan from Canadore, who's going to give us some info on the news that came out a couple weeks ago about a new indoor training facility. We're really excited to have you, Ryan. So feel free to let us know about everything going on at Canadore and how that's going to benefit sports in North Bay.
Yeah, first off, obviously, I'd like to say thanks for the sponsor shout out off the start. Obviously, that's always good to get our name in, and we're really excited to be one of your sponsors this year. I think it's really important from the college perspective that we're involved. Obviously, we're looking to build a new facility here that I'm going to talk about in a second. But I think it's really important that we're involved in the community, not only in the sports that we offer, but in sports in general. We're a smaller community in North Bay, and I think it's really, really important that we all work together and are all pulling in the same direction. And whether we're offering a football team or not, I think it's important that we're involved with the local community. So we're happy to be a sponsor, and we've obviously liked the shutout, obviously. So,
yeah. Well, thanks for being here. We certainly appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's great. I was just mentioning this is my first podcast, so hopefully I nail it. Yeah,
you sound like a soundbite right away. So
do I? Good. Perfect.
It's great. It's more of a conversation than it is anything else. So we meet up, once a week usually. We missed last week. Had a couple things.
Excuses.
Yeah, excuses.
Yeah, we all have things. Life
gets in the way sometimes.
So and I forgot to pick up the cart.
Yep.
Most importantly.
Okay.
Most importantly, it's on me.
Technical foul up.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're excited to do this, and we bring out the news and what happened. There's 4 club teams, right? We have our Bantams, which Clinton coaches. We have our JV, which I coach, and then we also have our senior varsity and men's team. So we're covering everybody, which Marc coaches. So he gets some news on the men's, which I don't know if you got to catch any games this year. That was an exceptional battle on Sunday. Really close. It came down to a football just being touched a little bit on a point after, hitting the left upright, bouncing off the crossbar, going straight up in the air, coming back down and out. They lost 21-20.
Oh, man.
Game of inches, right?
With less than 3 seconds on the clock. It was exciting.
Fate was against you at that point.
Everything is right. It was a great game. I got to be there. It was awesome. Probably one of the best NFC football games I've witnessed since 2001 when I started playing. It was a northern battle, Sault Ste. Marie and North Bay, original NFC teams, and they went at it for a full 60 minutes. It was a grind. So it's one of those Ironman football games you just want to be there and watch. So I hope there's a lot more people coming out to watch them. They're putting a really good product on the field. Looked awesome. What did you think about it, Coach?
Yeah, well, obviously it's disappointing to lose by a point, but the guys put out a really good effort. Honestly, each game they're improving. We definitely improved defensively this game against the Sioux's running game. We know that they tied Tri-City, and of course we're playing Tri-City next week. They tied Tri-City 13-13, and we really wanted to see if we can shut down the run. We had a tough time. I mean, they were a good running team, but we passed for I think 250 yards. We rushed for somewhere around 100, but you know what? We had a little breakdown here and there, discipline wise, that basically gave him a gift of a touchdown, and then there was another point where we had a little rough spot that. We were in the red zone, and then we were out of the red zone, tried a field goal, missed it, and they were able to run it out. So instead of that point being scored, we were. It was just one of those things where it was almost. But I'm really proud of the guys. This is quite frankly, like Coach Josh said it's our best team that we've put out in the last 10 years. We're improving. A lot of rookies, a lot of first-year players getting to know what NFC football is all about. It is faster, it is a little bit stronger, but most importantly, the players that are in it have a lot more experience, right? So they're adapting to that, and we're getting closer and closer. We got to go down south now this weekend and play Tri-City, so we're going to give that group the best shot that we can. Then we go to Sudbury the week after, and then we close out the season at home against the Longhorns. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
You got to make a game.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and make a game for sure. Yeah.
You have to make a game for one of the kids groups because you need to be able to witness the beginning of what you're doing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you want to be able to see what the change is.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, there's 39 clubs in the OSFL, and we're the only ones without an indoor facility in the wintertime.
Well, hopefully we're gonna fix that problem soon for you. So.
Right on.
Oh man, we're looking forward to it. You have no idea. It's gonna be great.
So what else is going to be taking place with that?
Yeah, so obviously we're looking to. Many of you are probably aware and have seen in the news that we're looking to build a sports dome facility at the Commerce Court campus.
Oh, yeah.
For Canadore College. So inside of it, we're looking to add obviously a turf section, some universal court sections. There'll be a high performance space in there. So we'll have some academic space for our program areas. So our school of sport and strength conditioning will be able to be housed out of there too as well. So really what we're trying to do is we're trying to check a lot of boxes, a lot of community needs, right? Like I think you look around the sports community in North Bay, and we were talking off air, right? This is something that's been needed for a long time. Just looking at your organization yourself, right? You have kids as young as 9 years old that you have now playing football, which is fantastic. And wouldn't it be great for them to have a place to train and to play all year round? And wouldn't it be nice for Mark, your team that you're coaching, to have some training going on in January and February, so that those issues that might come up in July or June you're dealing with ahead of time, right? So it's a huge competitive advantage, I think, for an organization like yourself, in terms of being able to have a place where you can train all year round. Being able to have a place where somebody that really loves a sport like football is able to go to in the off season, still hone their crafts, still participate in those activities, and really we want it to be a space where all sport can be sort of fostered in growth. I'm from North Bay, obviously, and there's a pride that comes with North Bay, but one of the things that we're lacking is the ability to train all year round. So, I mean, you want our teams to do well. You want our teams to be successful. Like, I'm a competitive guy myself. I think you're probably seeing that. Like, I want all of our teams to be winning on the provincial level. And without a facility like this, we can't compete on the provincial level. But now, hopefully, once it's built, not only will our students at Canadore College benefit, but the community as a whole will benefit in terms of having a facility that they can train out of.
Definitely. You know what? That's one of the conversations I had with your team, Josh Willard.
Yeah.
I believe it is.
Yeah, Josh, yeah.
When it came down to being involved with the Bulldogs, I told him, I said, hey, there's a lot of kids that won't have the marks to play university football. And some of them are a hands-on technical trades type personality, right?
Yeah.
So there's a benefit for us working with Canadore in recruiting players from out of town.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
When we have people come up from Kingston and Toronto and Sault Ste. Marie and stuff, and they know Canadore's here, and they can continue playing football while still being in school, because a lot of your courses run through the summer, right? And having that training facility and the courses you guys have where they can bridge to a university level, maybe that's a stepping stone for them, right? But I don't want them to feel like they're plateauing.
Yeah,
and
and
being held back based on our community.
Absolutely, it might even be a poaching opportunity for you to get some of these young athletes that might be in other communities that might want to come to Canadore and study with us and stay here in the summer months and play for the senior Bulldogs or the senior varsity Bulldogs.
The men's team.
The men's team, yeah. So there might be a great opportunity there.
There's a couple of programs across the country in the CJFL, which is 17 to 23.
Yep. And
they tie themselves to local community college, and there's a team in BC in Victoria that they recruit all over the country, all these athletes to come and play football for them, but they're tied to the local college, and they have some kind of a relationship there where there's a little bit of a fundraising going on and that sort of thing. So there's something tied in where they go to college there, they get an education, but they get to play football during the summer and early fall. And so there's a really good match there, and they get a lot of quality players from places like Thunder Bay, even Ontario. Then they go and they play in the CJFL. And now with last year's decision by the U Sport to eliminate the age limits, anybody can play university ball no matter how old they are. They got 5 years eligibility. So now, what Josh mentioned, that if there's some courses at the college, at the community college here in North Bay, that lends itself to help a player qualify himself to go to university. Suddenly now we've got football winter training within the context of the college. They have a college education that sets them up, and then during the summer playing NFC football, they're getting looked at. We've said it before, if you're good enough, people are going to find you on the field, and then of course that leads to the opportunity to play university football. So this kind of relationship can help everybody win.
Yeah, and that's what we're hoping for, right? Like that's what we're hoping for with the Dome. We're hoping for a sponsorship is being involved in the community, and relationships like that I think are important, right? Like North Bay is not, we're not a huge city. We need to make sure that we leverage all the community partners that we possibly can. So whether it's us building a dome and Bulldogs being able to use it, or exactly what you just talked about, having some of our students play for your teams, I think there's lots of possibilities that exist here. And I'm just excited that we were able to, hopefully fill a gap in the community that I think is there, that will help and really, further our community sport-wise going forward.
Well, the first thought that I had was this mitigates a huge disadvantage that we have just being in the north. Our seasons are offset from where the southern teams are, and if we have a dome, a place where we can practice ahead of time, they get out on the turf far earlier than we do. That mitigates that problem where our kids have 2, 3, maybe a month of a disadvantage on practice time, and that's a big amount of time. You create synergy, you develop relationships, and your playbook just expands, and this just totally turns the tables back to leveling the playing field, and I'm ecstatic that this is happening.
Well, 100%, right? You mentioned, I think you're playing Tri-City, you mentioned, so yeah. I'm assuming, just geographically, they're going to have more opportunity to be outside practicing in the spring months, right?
They've been training camp since beginning of April, and they've been doing stuff together all winter. Yeah. They've had a crew of guys playing winter 6-on-6 football down there indoors.
Teams like Sault Ste. Marie, right? Population-wise, there's not a big difference between North Bay and Sault Ste. Marie. Geographically, we have the same hardships. They benefit from being able to play and train together from January to November. They got a month off. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right? Being indoor, and it works tremendously to build a better high school league, better summer league. Right, North Bay has a track record of having a hard time dealing with Sioux sports. Yeah, and it's strictly because the training that's involved. I mean, anybody can go to a World Gym or a Good Life, and it's no knock on them, but they're there for adults who just want to. Yeah, they're there for me. Body image, right? Yeah. Yeah. So when it comes to sports specific training, that's one of the questions I have for Canadore is, in regards to sports specific training, are your students going to be helping train these young athletes, or is the onus going to be on the athletes to learn how to train? So or do we coach them to that?
Yeah, so maybe now's an opportunity where I can give a huge shout out. I know Caleb Maddie is our sports strength and conditioning professor at the college, and he's a real out of the box thinker. So just looking at what's possibly be going in the dome and the possibilities of the high performance space in there. I don't want to steal any Caleb's thunder, but I can tell you that Caleb's probably his mind's going a million miles a minute right now, thinking of different ways that we can do things, and that's one of the things that we're trying to, in preparation for this, we've even tried to look at how do we look at using the existing spaces that we have, bringing our sports and strength conditioning students under Caleb Maddie's tutelage to be able to actually work with different sports teams right now to have customized training programs for them, right? So that's something that we'd be looking to ultimately, hopefully get to a point where we're able to do that, right? So, I mean, if you're looking at, your Bantam Bulldogs, coming in training with our sports and strength conditioning students once a week, right? Now we have a facility where, we can do some pretty neat things, right? And Caleb's great, so I'm just going to keep talking about Caleb here for a second.
Fair enough, go ahead.
But,
he'll be happy.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Lots of shout-outs, Caleb.
Yeah. One of the things that, that he's presented was, a combine day. Every sport now, whether it's football is probably the first one to have a combine, right? You look at the NFL combine, it's very, very huge, right? But every sport's kind of followed suit with that, the drafting and the recruitment piece of things. The combines have become huge, right? Hockey, baseball, everything, right? He's looking developing combine days where athletes can come and actually participate in a combine day that's designed specifically for their sport. So that, if they are going to go do a combine, a real combine, they're prepared for it. And they know, I know what my 40 time is. I know what my bench press is. I know what my vertical leap is. You know what I mean? Rather than going in cold and all of a sudden you're doing a vertical leap, right? It's
I'm not sure if you guys still do that, but we did do combines for the youth league.
Yeah.
That way we can set benchmarks to balance out the league.
Yeah.
And the word I'm looking for, have a little bit of makes the competition better, right? You don't have one team. You're
evaluating them based on their athletic ability, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, but those are things that we're looking to do there too as well. So I mean, I think the sky is really the limit. Like I think that the announcement that we're doing it, we're opening it, is sort of, the first step, I think, in this process. But I think this is an evolving process here where we're looking at engaging our students, engaging community partners, engaging, potential rental groups. There's lots of opportunities here. And what we're trying to do is just really, really make, the college itself really be a part of the community and really, raise the community up in terms of sport.
Throwing out things like combine, man. I don't know that you guys realize this yet. But for you guys to host a combine day for football once a year, twice a year, you aren't going to get 30, 40 kids, You're going to have 1,000, 2,000.
Yeah, we'd be operating that and promoting that and through our networks and our leagues. You'd have everything north of Barrie to Ottawa.
The sports used to have a massive combine. I attended one. It was called Test to be the Best. And they did it once a year wherever the Vanier Cup was being held.
Yeah.
And they got like 10,000 kids.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted to be able to evaluate everybody as far as you can see from west to east. They wanted everybody there who cared about football. And they wanted to evaluate you. They had CIS players showing you how to do the drills properly. But they wanted everybody who was anybody in football to be there so that they could evaluate you.
Yeah.
And if you do something like that in North Bay, the amount of people that come up here to play their games here that love the area so much, because Dad's like, yes, see you later, have fun at the game, I'm going fishing.
Yeah.
Right? I can't tell you how many of those will attend your combine day.
Well, we could plan a combine day and a dad fishing trip at the same time, maybe.
Yeah, man.
There we go. Out of the box. Thank you.
We'll get tours of North Bay involved here too.
Hey, one of the parents of our club, Dave Smetana, he owns all of the lake, and he is an outfitter. He does that. He loves it. So I'm telling you, you throw out that word combine day, you watch how many people will come, and that's a great recruiting tool for you guys, as well as us being able to set our benchmark to show progress in development in our players and coaches.
Yeah, for sure.
That's very exciting.
Good. Yeah.
So it's going to be football lines on this,
We're going to be consulting with all the user groups to see what we can do.
That's a yes.
You're on camera.
That's a yes. You're on the record.
Everybody
That's why
else
we have
in the
you
world
here.
has football lines. We
Can't have a combine day without football lines. You need to know.
We'll be chatting.
You need to know what 40 yards is to be able to run a 40.
We don't care that they're yellow and bright. They don't need to be the brightest one. We don't really care, but you got to have football lines.
Yeah. You know, we played in Quinty, and they made a outdoor turf field with football uprights. Forgot to put the lines on it for football. They just left them on for soccer. I kid you not. Before our game, they painted purple lines on the field.
Yeah.
Oh,
All of our kids' jerseys are white. Do you know how many of our kids have purple clothing now?
Yeah.
From falling on the
Yeah.
fresh paint. They literally painted it about 15 minutes before kickoff.
It was grass though, right? Like they weren't painting it.
No, it was turf.
Oh.
Artificial turf. They painted artificial turf.
Great stadium. It's all football. But they literally painted the turf
Yeah.
with purple lines.
Yeah,
It was
Well,
hilarious.
gotta have football lines.
So, what happened with the Bantam game this weekend?
Oh, well, I got 3 Bantam games to catch up on. So, Sunday the 12th, we faced the Outlaws. Good classic grudge match from leagues of previous. Their opening drive was excellent. They drove down the field, scored, and we drove down the field and returned. And then after that, they just fell apart. And by half, we were up by 20 plus. And then we just let all of our players just start to filter in. And I don't know what happened, but they imploded. And our guys just kind of run roughshod on them. It was a really good game. A lot of our players got, to score, to enjoy that feeling, that sensation of crossing that end zone. That's a tough thing to do in this league. And it was great to see. And our defense was stout. They only scored 6 points on us. We scored 50. That was the first game. So then the next weekend, Father's Day was the 19th. So it was again the TNT. Again, another team from another league of previous years. And Chris sent me a bunch of notes because she really wanted me to talk about this one. She's
Thanks,
ridiculous. Coach. Thank you. I appreciate it. So, our first drive was an 80-yard, just all the way from the back, all the way to the end zone with a touchdown by Matthew Desbiens. You'll be hearing his name a lot. That kid is a war machine. He'll just do everything you need to do. Coach's son, so he's got all of that knowledge just built right into him. And then, everything else became a defensive just route for the Bulldogs. Our defense, Coach Eric has them just decimating teams. They can't get the run game. They can't get the throw. And they didn't get a point on us at all. So that was just a shutdown. Dane hit a huge 15-yard touchdown pass to really ignite the offense to Jake Doré. And then we had Tiger. He's just a little guy. Heart, though, huge. And he scored his first touchdown along with little Riley McDonald.
Oh, yeah.
So, again, we routed them.
Those are great.
The biggest problem, and I think Coach Nick put this the best way, we had a butterfly effect from that game, though. Our quarterback, Peyton, who was doing really good, excellent command of the offense, got hurt, concussed, and he's not able to join the next game. So the next game was our toughest game against the 3-0 Huronia Stallions. We were 3-0 at the time. And our first drive...
Without your starting quarterback?
Without our secondary quarterback. Our starter was still good.
Okay.
He's still out there. He's doing his thing.
Yeah.
And he takes a helmet right to the liver.
Oh.
And, man, he did not look good. He went down. And, of course, trainers took him out, as they should. And there goes your 2 quarterbacks. So then we take Mr. Desbiens, who's got a really good command of the offense, can work any position from a wide receiver, and we put him in and inject him in at quarterback. And then one of our main wide receivers gets hurt. He rolls his ankle. So Nolan, he's out over here, so then you got to put in someone else. And then this cascading effect.
Yeah,
happens.
now you're off.
Now your
second,
superstar's out.
Off everything.
Then
your timing's off.
Your main, and then all of a sudden those runs, the crossing routes, the big play. Then Tio was out, and then all of a sudden, our secondary running back gets hit, on a kick return, and then he goes out for the game. And it was just. Other than that, the Huronia team was held off to 6 points through the whole first half.
Yeah.
Eric's defense was just so stout. They kept us in the game. Well, the offense just we just disintegrated, just player injuries, attrition.
Yeah.
And that's really where we lost. I want that game back, and I want our starters, and I think it would have been a different score. I think we would have done good. we would have done very well. Matthew Dembia, again, he's the warhorse. He did everything he could possibly do. He, to make something happen on offense, but we just lack personnel.
Yeah, sometimes.
And then they beat us 22-0, but really
that's not bad.
It's not bad.
No,
because
3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns, and it was
2 in the second half.
Yeah, you got to look at it sometimes.
They fought hard.
Football numbers are really misleading because it's really only 3-0.
That
compared
score,
to a hockey score or a baseball score.
Yeah, that score. At the end, you just trying to not let anyone else get hurt. You're trying to mitigate the problem. Just roll back, and 2 of those points were us trying to just go back and take a knee in the end zone to burn out the clock. And okay, we're done with this game. Let's move on to the next one and keep who we have vertical. But it was just a game of attrition, and we just kind of we were already down. So like I said, that butterfly effect just kind of took us out. So now we go to meet the Argos this weekend. They're 5-0. This is going to be our next big test.
Be a good test, yeah.
Hopefully our starters are back, and it'll be a tough match. Like, we had our nice, easy, ramp up, get ourselves acclimated. And now the Stallions, that was our first big test. Now the Argos, that's the real test. I saw them play. I went down to one of their games. They're a great team. They're a fun team to watch. They have a really dynamic offense, but I think our defense will just hold them back, and then we have to let the offense do their job.
Mm-hmm.
So
nothing wrong with a loss, man.
I mean, it happens. It's humbling, but I think it's good. It takes away that feeling of being unbeatable, and it humbles you and makes you want to work harder. And now they know what they have to do. When your time comes, you got to step up and show heart and determination. So
it's not about where you start; it's where you finish. And progress is a slow process.
Thank you.
So,
yeah.
Right. And that's what they have playoffs for.
Oh yeah. Well, we're going.
It's exciting.
So you said there will be lines.
On camera, look up there, say lines. That's all.
We will consult with all user groups.
Yeah.
We won't have purple lines, I can tell you that.
Okay, that's a good one.
They're not painted on.
Off the hook he goes.
They don't care what color they are, really.
He's going with red.
Yeah. Canadore red.
Yeah. There we go. Perfect. See?
That's awesome. Yeah, and that's something where, the turf field, that allows you to have your whole depth chart, which I can see in front of you, getting more time in, right? Yeah. So you're prepared for the 3rd and 4th and 5th quarterback if need be.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
The more time you have to practice, the more time you can inject them into the plays, and they can see the playbook. Playing time is invaluable. Real game time, real practice time. It really does cement you as a player.
It's
really
touches, right? Touches and reps.
Touches and reps. Yeah, couldn't have said it better.
We have we had a home and home series with Sudbury.
Battle of the North.
Yeah.
Man.
Another team that has an indoor practice facility. But they all do. But we struggled. It seems like after exams, the kids really, and I know this because I was in high school, you guys were too. After exams, they really let loose. They're at the beach, it's hot, right? One of the players said, "Hey, coach, my legs feel heavy today." Well, you're in the water all week. Of course they would. Of course they would, right? So we got spanked. Learning curve. We're 0-4 now. We were seeing progress through the first couple weeks. Kind of stalled a little bit this week. But there are some players I got to give shout-outs to, because my saying is you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable in football, right? Yeah. Nobody's comfortable being in pain. Football's, you get sore. So you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable, right? And we tried some players out at some new spots. Riley O'Byrne, we had a linebacker, massive. That guy, I think, found where he needs to be. I think we got him in the right spot. He was started off playing running back, and Riley, great job. Jacob Dubois, man,
love that kid. Had him in youth.
Anybody who could have coachable players like that, like Riley, like Jacob, lots of the kids, Jacob got our hardest worker, right? He's got the hat. He's keeping it for right now too. Plays fullback. We put him in an O-line. No complaining. Did his job. We actually got the old caboose play in for him. We ran it twice in a row. He's a guard, and he ran the ball twice.
Mm-hmm.
Massive pickups.
Oh yeah.
He's going to score a touchdown on that this year at some point. Right? So I didn't want to put it on film. Mark pointed out, look, they don't have their camera out today. I said, all right, then let's do it. So we did a couple gate plays. We did a lot of trick plays. They were working. You got to get them all to buy into the philosophy sometimes. Get everybody on the same page, and the plays work better, right? You'll see better progress. So we're going to be working on that tonight. Like I said, it's not about where you start, it's where you finish. So we're going to work a little harder. The teams we're playing, we've played before. We weren't comfortable with the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to be a little bit more comfortable in seeing a different outcome. So that's where the JV's at. I don't have much on the senior varsity. I saw the
senior,
write-up.
yeah, they went down to York Lions. They went down with 25 guys, and before the game really got started, I think 3 of them went down with dehydration issues in the.
Same thing. After exams, everyone's
Well,
letting loose.
yeah, so they were there, but the trainer didn't give them the okay to play. So during the game, most of the game, our guys played shorthanded with like 21 guys, and against the York Lions, it was a full group.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, they battled hard. I mean, they battled so hard. They outplayed them, and they beat them.
Yeah.
They beat them 32-29.
36 to 29.
36-29.
Wow.
So, I mean, I think about that and I say, okay. And if I were the coach of a player for the York Lions and the coach, I'd say, do you know what? We just got beat by a team of 21, 22, 23. You know what? That just means we got to work harder. There's something maybe we might have taken lightly. Or I think our group is an excellent group. Like, these guys are talented and they are they're warriors. And they went down there and they played warrior football. They put it all out on the field. And I have to tell you, I'm super disappointed with the York Lions. They filed a complaint with the league. Get this. This is not cool.
Oh.
Because if I was a player down there, I'd be embarrassed and I would be upset at my coaches because I don't want to win a game on a boardroom. I want to win it on the field. Right?
Yeah.
That's where you want to win the game.
That's where it matters.
And they
That's where it
filed a
shows.
complaint saying that we played with too few players. That the limit in a football game is 25 and that their film showed that we had 21. So they filed a complaint with the league and just waiting to see what comes out of it. But the league has kind of told me that they're going to give the default win to York Lions, like a bunch of little babies.
What?
Childish, cowardly, terrible sportsmanship. They did that. They went out there and they put it out there. So I'm not afraid to say it on the air. I don't really care because that's the way I feel. I think if I was a York Lions player, I'd be upset at my coaches. I don't want to win on the boardroom table. I want to win on the field. North Bay came down here, kicked their butts, 36-29. It was a great game. Took it right to the end, and I think Jason coached a hell of a game to be able to pull that off. But the comment I got back was they reviewed the film and they only saw 21 players on the sideline, and that's kind of what I'm getting. So that's just, to me, that's doesn't make the league look good at all. Like, what does that speak of the league? Our guys came back, everybody's healthy. These are teenagers, for crying out loud, and they beat them. They won the game fair and square. But because of a crazy little ridiculous technicality, they're probably gonna give the game to York, and it's unfair to the kids, all the kids. It's good for them to say, yeah, we won the game. No, you didn't win the game.
Yeah.
You didn't win the game. York is not good enough to beat North Bay on that day. That's the bottom line, and they need to live with that. And I'm disappointed in the adults that were part of that. That care more about the win than the actual development of their kids, and it's just to me, I see that kind of stuff as sickening, and in a developmental league like that. So anyway, that's how it's going to go, and
Because at the end of the year, it's not going to change the outcome.
no,
If York can't beat a team of 21, don't expect to win a championship.
yeah. So
I don't
Exactly.
get it. I can't describe to you guys how frustrating it is from when I started coaching. I was 17. I was still in high school. To now, it's as if adversity has to be averted. Like you can't there's no way to explain it. If you come upon adversity, run away.
That seems to be the message that these people are putting out there.
You know, I know. I'm not sure if you're coaching or not, Ryan, but I'm sure you have enough people surrounding you in the sports world that you're hearing probably something similar.
Yeah.
You know, the write-ups in the paper that we get. You know, parents losing it on soccer refs, hockey refs. There's not enough referees for sport, right?
Yeah, that's a tough one, right? Because I mean, you're crying for referees, but at the same time, like, you know.
Well, you're giving them the gears.
Well, I coach my kids hockey and soccer. Like,
brave man.
The referees are the most important people on the field at that age, especially at development. Probably similar to some of your band, right?
Yeah.
A lot of these kids don't even know the rules, right? The referees are the ones that are really teaching and
arbiters, and
we need to be, you know, obviously respectful of officials at all levels, I think, but especially at youth sports and especially for parents in general. Just, I mean, it's not a good look, and I mean, we need referees. We need people to coach. We need people. So
it's a tough job too. They're human. You can miss a call, and it happens. And you shouldn't have to take some of the punishment and abuse from fans that they get. Trust me.
Well, professional referees miss calls all the time.
Yeah.
And guys in the NFL miss.
It happens,
right?
Well,
pass interference call a couple years ago that could have, you know what I mean? Could have changed the outcome of the Super Bowl. And you know, you see, right? So.
At the end of the day,
down.
At the end of the day, we're all volunteers, so are they?
Yeah.
And it's crazy that somebody like
just give them the respect they do.
Yeah. It's
sometimes the adults get in the way, right?
Yeah, well, it's true, and to watch, to even hear that the senior varsity Bulldogs are having a win tarnished, taken away, literally taken away, that they've earned. These are 21 kids who fought.
20. There were 20. They went down there with 25.
Blood, and they overcame the odds. And you're just going to take it away from them for an arbitrary reason?
Well, they called it a safety rule, right? If you're below 25, you're running into safety issues. But they're supposed to address it before kickoff. They're supposed to have an official go to the team and address it before kickoff. Hey, man, you don't have 25. And do you want to call this a scrimmage or whatever? They're supposed to do that. And it wasn't done. So the home team didn't do it. Not know why. They thought,
we're going to
walk all over these guys. And they didn't. So they said, you know what, we're just going to put it to them anyway. So the officials didn't come over. Nobody came over. The home team didn't say a thing. And there was 25 guys, and they had their equipment on. But before the game really got started, the trainer, they complained to the trainer, I guess, and the trainer looked at them and said, "You're not good to go here." Like, you know, it might have been after warm-ups or something. Maybe it was a hot day.
Yeah,
like it was the hottest day here.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So if it was the hottest day here, it was the hottest day our guys were going to be up against down there, and so it happened. But I know Jason went down with 25. 25 players were on the bus.
That's a good question for Ryan. Is there going to be air conditioning and heating?
I'm sure it'll be climate controlled.
Okay. Some of us can't take it.
Yeah.
Well, hey, during the summer, I mean,
it might be opportunity there during the summer. There's some hot days,
like
right?
to walk around, you know.
Yeah.
And,
I like where this is going already.
What's going back to that? What is the actual field surface size you guys are going to have? Because I know there's going to be so much in there. I know you're still consulting with
We're still going through that process to figure out exactly what the field dimensions are. There's going to be a court section in there. We're still going through that process as far as what the actual size of the facility is going to be in terms of.
So when you say
dimensions.
court section, what does that mean?
Like there'll be a universal court section in there too as well. So
tennis, basketball,
basketball. Yeah,
that's kind of
It won't be. It won't be the like. If I was to guess, I would say it'd probably be 3/4 turf field, and 1/4 court section. Just
that's fine.
Yeah, no,
more turf than court.
I saw the outdoor picture when we attended the sod turning, I guess. And it looked awesome. I was like, man, what's the inside? Let's see what that inside is going to look like.
Yeah, just going to need lines
Soon
on
enough.
that 3/4 part, that 3/4 field. Just going to have football lines on there. Hash marks and sidelines and 5-yard markers.
You gotta stay away from him. If he has it his way, there's gonna be uprights.
No, it's good. We need to know what
There we go.
we need to. Like I said, we need to know what we need. Right?
Well, yeah, we need uprights on one side anyway. For sure.
Well, it's a dome, right? You can
Yeah.
only have it in the center.
We'll have a retractable roof by the end of this podcast.
There you go.
Okay, write that down. Retractable
Short
roof.
uprights.
You heard it
short
here
uprights
first.
and that's it.
Retractable roof.
On the spot, he's never coming back.
Yeah.
We're gonna call it the Ryan Dome.
Yeah.
It's a new nickname. So, all right. Is there anything else you want to talk about, guys, before we wrap up? We're at the 40-minute mark. That's between
good.
40 and
That's
60 minutes.
good.
We're usually done by then.
Yeah.
So it kept Ryan a little bit later than we expected. It's 1:15 now, so
That's all right.
Yeah.
we'll call it a wrap, guys. And make sure you like, share, and what's the other one? Join the subscribe, like. There's something else on YouTube.
Ring
Leave a
the bell.
comment. We need some comments on there, guys.
Yeah.
So, and reach out to Ryan. Ryan, make sure you review the comments. And if you have any questions, leave them there for him. He's going to be looking at it. All right. Thanks again. We'll see you guys next week.
All right. See you at the field.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks.
All right.
Pleasure.